Vice President toured the UA-27 Plumbers Union training facility before speaking in a parking lot outside. Good evening. I'm Lisa Adams. Thank you for watching Erie News Now. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden's speech wrapped up less than a half hour ago. We have live team coverage now that you can count on to show you where candidate Joe Biden spent his time here in Erie County and what he had to say. Although there was no public rally because of COVID-19, he did draw some crowds and a little bit of confrontation. Senior reporter Paul Wagner will break down Joe Biden's remarks. Ethan Kibbe talked one-on-one with the candidate just a short time ago, and our Haley Potter talked to some local voters who came out for a glimpse of Joe Biden. But first, Erie News Now anchor Mike Ruzzi is joining us live in Summit Township, where the event wrapped up just a short time ago. I still hear some voices in the background, I think. Mike, tell us about the scene. There were both Biden and Trump supporters there.
Yes, Lisa, and right now the former vice president has just departed, so that's why you were hearing the background noise with his supporters. And earlier today, probably about an hour and a half ago, we got right in the middle of it because there were Joe Biden supporters and Donald Trump supporters. There were chants of "Let's go Joe" and "Lock him up," and they were going back and forth and 4 more years. But because of a heavy law enforcement's presence, nothing really escalated to a severe level this afternoon. That was the scene outside. Inside, the former vice president was talking about jobs, the American worker, and infrastructure. And our senior reporter, Paul Wagner, who certainly covered his share of state and local elections over the years, breaks down the speech now. Paul.
Training center to talk a lot about jobs and the regional economy, telling the crowd, kept fairly small because of the coronavirus pandemic, that he and Kamala Harris have a plan to help boost the economy and America's workforce by helping to boost the middle class. Now, Biden came to the podium just after 5 o'clock this afternoon and spoke for about 25 minutes. He blasted President Trump's handling of the coronavirus pandemic. He rejected the president's statement that he opposes fracking, an important job producer here in Pennsylvania. But most of the speech focused on his plan to create jobs and economic growth. After touring the training facility for plumbers, he said the government needs to do more to help working Americans. He said his Build Back Better plan would raise taxes on people making more than $400,000 a year. That money would be used to help the middle-class workers with job training, health care, preschool, and other issues. The centerpiece of the plan, investing $2 trillion to improve America's infrastructure, something he said President Trump has failed to do.
In infrastructure, building airports, schools, affordable housing, upgrading the water and pipes, making sure it's sustainable and resilient, built and laid down by union plumbers and pipe fitters here in Pennsylvania and across the country. And clean energy, we're going to upgrade 4 million buildings with weatherization of 2 million homes. And it's estimated that will create 1 million good paying jobs, union jobs.
Joe Biden ending his speech by urging everyone to vote and criticizing President Trump's attacks on the credibility of mail-in voting. We'll have much more on Biden's speech coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. Live in the newsroom, I'm Paul Wagner, Erie News Now.
And thanks, Paul. Right after the speech, our Ethan Kibbe had a chance one-on-one to talk with the Democratic nominee. Ethan joins us now from right across the street here on Hawthorne Drive. Ethan.
We only had 5 minutes to talk with the candidate, but we tried to touch on some key issues that matter here in Pennsylvania, specifically here in Erie County. In fact, my first question out of the box was about farmers. You'll hear about that in a moment. But one thing we really touched on was those disenfranchised voters, people who felt that the party had left them behind. I asked Vice President Biden, I said, what swung Erie County in 2016 was those moderate voters, people who had been Democrats but felt the party had left them behind, had drifted to the left. I said, what's changed? Why should they vote for you this time around? His answer, I'm back. And of course, we switched into coronavirus recovery. We talked about the need for helping businesses, helping people recover. Here's what he had to say about people outside of the city, those farmers, the people in the rural areas of Erie County that he knows he needs to win. And here's also what he said about the possibility of a second shutdown. Take a listen.
What I will do is make sure that we invest in the things that are going to allow farmers to make some real money. Beyond the products they have now, we're going to make sure that they have a significant advantage to put more land in conservation and get paid to put it in conservation. Because what they can do is they can absorb carbon from the air by the plants they plant. They should be paid for that. No, look, he's the guy that shut it down. Let's get this straight. He shut it down. He said, he has no plan. Think about that. None at all, except for a miracle that's on its way. It's dangerous, and 210,000 people are dead because of this negligence.
And coming up tonight at 11, I'll have a full report on that interview. Again, it was only 5 minutes with the candidate, but we were wide-ranging there, tried to touch on matters that matter to you here in Erie, and we'll have that coming up tonight at 11. For now, though, Ethan Kibbe, Erie News Now.
And Ethan, I'm sure you made the best use of those 5 minutes to ask lots of good questions. We'll look forward to your report tonight. Meantime, our Haley Potter was at the Erie airport as Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden first arrived. And Haley, you had a chance to follow the motorcade and also to talk to some voters who turned out to see the former vice president. What did they have to say about today's visit?
Hi, Lisa, you're right. I got to talk to some people earlier today, and this is pretty much where the day began. You can see that the plane that Joe Biden got off of is right behind me. And if you take a look around, we can see that there's still some supporters here at the airport just waiting for him to come back in just a little bit. And that's what happened today in this field. A lot of people gathered to see former Vice President Joe Biden. Of the supporters I spoke to, many of them say they're happy to see Biden in Erie and to show their support. They say it's only fair because President Trump made an appearance here 4 years ago to the day. A group of Trump supporters say they want to show Biden that he is in Trump country over here in Erie.
Yeah, I want to kind of see the support he has. I don't think the media is being accurate. I'm pretty sure that what we're going to see today is that he'll probably have a lot less people than Trump ever pulled in.
Important for any of the candidates right now to come out and see that we need help out here, especially with the COVID response. The arts are suffering and everything is suffering right now. So it's important that the Midwest isn't a flyover state. We are very important as a swing state this year, so it's important that he comes.
And we will also hear from some of the supporters and protesters that were right outside of where Biden was speaking tonight at 11. Reporting live, Haley Potter, Erie News Now.
And we'll look forward to that report as well. Well, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump held his first campaign event this afternoon since contracting the coronavirus himself. We will have that story and a Pence campaign stop in Florida coming up in a little bit on Erie News Now. First, though, we want to update you on today's coronavirus numbers. Erie County continues a streak of double-digit case numbers with 19 today. Crawford County has 6 new cases and Warren County reports 2. Now let's take a closer look. Statewide, another big jump in COVID-19 cases. Today, 1,742. That's right, new cases just today. That jumped over 360 cases from Friday. Now, state health officials say Pennsylvania is seeing the largest case numbers in 6 months. They attribute it to more testing and also virus spread among college students. Health officials here in Erie County have made a similar argument for the recent spike here. Well, still to come this evening, we will get some analysis on the Biden visit and remarks from Dr. Jeffrey Bloodworth from Gannon University. That's coming up. And while Joe Biden was in Erie, as we said, Donald Trump campaigned from the White House balcony, his focus on law and order. That and Vice President Pence with Latinos for Trump in Orlando. After Joe Curtis and your full First Warning forecast.
count on with Lisa Adams.
Well, welcome back to Erie News Now. After the Biden visit and that speech just a short time ago, we'd like to get a little bit more perspective. So joining us via Zoom or on our iPad here is Dr. Jeffrey Bloodworth, a professor of history at Gannon University. Thanks for joining us. So first of all, how important is this visit today? Because we know all the analysts say it was a misstep by Hillary Clinton 4 years ago to not come to Erie County.
Campaign committed political malpractice in 2016. Pennsylvania is going to be won in Western Pennsylvania. And if Vice President Biden is going to win Pennsylvania, he has to hold down the margins of his losses in Western PA. And Erie and Pittsburgh are the two kind of population centers in Western Pennsylvania. And, you know, coming to Erie was it's hugely important and kind of turning out the vote in Erie.
So did you hear anything in the speech today that was really Erie County centric? Anything here that might change any undecided voters who didn't know if they should vote for Trump or Biden today? Or did it seem pretty much like the same stump speech he gives every place?
Yeah, I watched it, and it's a reformulated, kind of stump speech. But, it's the optics. Very few people are going to listen to the whole speech, but he does it at a manufacturing center. He talks about his family's working class roots. He talks about he's connecting to, average working Americans and their struggles. And so it's earned media, right? I mean, it's not just that people are going to go, stand outside with signs, but they're going to see Vice President Biden came on television. They're seeing the newspaper. People will be talking about it. And it's the optics and it's the snippets that are going to be played in the next coming days. And, it is about connecting to working class people, throughout Western Pennsylvania and showing that he gets it and he understands.
Yeah, certainly he had a farmer as part of the speeches before him speak, as well as a journeyman plumber there who had been trained at that facility. So certainly appealing to those folks too. So we do know that Joe Biden is leading in the Pennsylvania polls, but we do see a surge in Republican voter registration right here in Erie County. So will Erie County be as tough to predict, as much of a mystery as it was the last time around?
Well, the Trump theory of the case is not just in Erie County, but all across the United States. The Trump campaign has registered more Republicans than Democrats have recently. And the Trump campaign is arguing that the polls are misleading because the Trump campaign is going to turn out, first-time voters, new Republicans, people who are Trump voters and Trump Republicans. And so predicting what will happen with Erie, will President Trump be able to turn out these voters in Erie County, in Florida? The thing about people who don't vote in the past is they generally don't turn out. Voters who don't vote generally don't vote. But again, 2016, nobody expected President Trump to win. If it happened once, it can happen again. The polls clearly show that Biden is ahead. President Trump believes, right, his campaign believes that they have, a cachet of voters that are being underpolled and are under the radar.
Well, time will tell. One last quick question. We know Donald Trump came here in 2016 and he came here in the midterms in 2018. Now that Biden has been here, does he need to come here as well?
Yeah, I mean, President Trump, COVID has definitely stalled his campaign. But, if President Trump wants to win Western Pennsylvania, he needs to win Erie County. And so, yes, Western Pennsylvania is the battleground for the state. President Trump probably needs to come to Erie County and to Erie to counter the fact that Biden was here.
All right, we will see if that happens. Thanks so much, Dr. Jeffrey Bloodworth, for being with us. We'll hear more from Dr. Bloodworth coming up tonight at 11. It is time now to turn to weather, and Joe Curtis is in tonight. And boy, a gorgeous summer-like day, pretty good day for that outdoor campaign.
From Erie News Now, this is First Warning Weather with Joe Curtis.
Yeah, it certainly was a great day to be outdoors today. Our high temperature today hit 80 degrees here in Erie, so definitely a taste of summer across the region. We do have a weather impact of 1 tonight, though. We've got mostly cloudy skies across the area. Also watching some showers, and it's also been pretty breezy today. Well, we're expecting a breezy night as well. First warning weather Doppler map showing you that some very light showers are starting to fire up just along the lake shore there, and we could get a little bit of light rain as we head throughout the next hour or two here along the lake shore, picking up on maybe a little bit of rain here in Erie for areas like northeast into western New York as well. Nothing really too much to be concerned of, just a few light sprinkles for you. Happening outside right now across the area. Here's downtown Erie. Not quite seeing the rain, but perhaps maybe a little bit of light drizzle across the region. 73 degrees right now in Erie, and tonight our temperatures are going to fall quite a bit, so enjoy the mild feel to the air while we have it right now. 70 degrees right now in Waterford, Cambridge Springs, 69 in Meadville, 69 in Warren, 67 degrees right now in Jamestown, New York. Winds are coming in from the south at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and we've got a cold front on the way, and that's why I said that it's going to be fairly breezy. We're also watching the temperatures drop quite a bit tonight, so we're expecting them to fall to 56 by 4 a.m. and into the low 50s as we head towards tomorrow morning. Not really expecting a whole lot of rain tonight. First warning weather futurecast showing you a few more showers by 8 o'clock. We clear up by tomorrow morning by 6 o'clock. Mixture of sun and clouds, and this morning I was tracking quite a bit of rain for tomorrow night. Well, it looks like the chances of rain for tomorrow night are decreasing quite a bit, and now the chances for rain on Monday are starting to push back to Monday night, so I've got the details coming up. First warning weather futurecast continuing to show cloudy skies by tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Can't rule out maybe a few showers by that time, but the best chance of rain, again, will arrive as we look towards Monday. Of course, tomorrow's an NFL Sunday. Here's your kickoff forecast. The Cleveland Browns playing Indianapolis. That game's going to be on WSEE at 4 o'clock. And, of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be playing Philadelphia as well, and we got temperatures in the 60s for that. Here's your 7-day outlook for Columbus Day. Back into the 70s once again. We're into the 60s Tuesday and Wednesday. As we look towards the end of the week, some more cooler weather on the way. Back in the 50s on Friday and Saturday.
Well, today hotter than I knew. Thanks, Joe. Well, Hurricane Delta made landfall. We're going to show you the damage. It was severe when we come back. And Vice President Mike Pence in Florida today. He started campaigning again weeks ahead of Election Day.
Now, This is coverage you can count on with Lisa Adams.
President Donald Trump held a campaign rally at the White House today for the first time since he contracted the coronavirus himself. He addressed some 500 invited supporters on the South Lawn in what was billed as a peaceful protest for law and order. He has campaigned on a law and order theme during recent months and has been critical of sometimes violent protests. And today he said he has the support of America's police forces. Trump also said science will eradicate the coronavirus soon, and he pledged to create a health care system that delivers better care at a lower cost.
Thank our law enforcement, and I want to thank everybody in the community and the community drives for working with law enforcement. I want to thank them. I think we probably have the support of every law enforcement group in this country, practically.
Hurricane Delta roared ashore in southern Louisiana last night as a Category 2 hurricane with winds of 100 miles per hour. After making landfall in Creole, Louisiana, Delta moved across the Lake Charles waterfront city where nearly every home was damaged, already damaged actually, revisiting the same path of destruction laid down 6 weeks ago by Hurricane Laura. Many homes still bearing the blue tarps from that storm's wrath. And hundreds of thousands of people are now once again without power. All right, back to politics now. Vice President Mike Pence made a stop in Florida today. The first event was set for 1 p.m. at Central Christian University in Orlando, where Pence addressed a Latinos for Trump rally. He spoke about the coronavirus, Trump's Supreme Court nominations, and provided an update on President Trump and the First Lady. The second event he attended was at 3:30 at Brownwood Paddock Square in the Villages. President Donald Trump is supposed to host a rally in Florida next week. Up in Perry Square earlier today, we're going to find out more about that when we come back. I wonder why the two campaign stories. People participated in a prayerful march in Perry Square today. They waved Armenian flags and held signs and listened to speeches about the war between Armenia and Azerbaijan. They wanted to show their support for their country while raising awareness about what is going on far around the globe.
Would you want to wake up tomorrow to see another country invading your country, and saying it's their land? I mean, it's not right. It's just not right. And you know, I mean, we just want the world to care. We want our community to care.
The peaceful rally lasted for several hours. Organizers told us they wanted to do their part and join other peaceful rallies like it around the country. Well, we're going to be right back with a recap of Democratic candidate Joe Biden's visit here in Erie. Stay with us. The Erie News Now team has been tracking the visit of Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden here in Erie. He's wrapping up his visit at this hour. He met with union members at the Erie Building Trades Training Center up in Summit Township. Our Mike Ruzzi joins us live where Biden was just a short time ago. He did something Hillary Clinton did not do 4 years ago, and that's visit Erie. Your impressions of how it went from your vantage point?
Well, Lisa, first of all, it was an impressive day for the Biden campaign. They wanted to get a message across to see if that message would resonate with Erie County voters. Talking to a lot of people on site, it feels like his message is getting across as he tries to reverse what happened in 2016. Right now, only about 5 or so supporters remain. When we arrived on the scene, both sides of the road were filled with supporters. So the campaign clock continues to tick. Now only 24 days until the election, and President Trump will be back in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Back in Pennsylvania, President Trump in Johnstown on Tuesday night.
All right, and Mike Ruzzi will be with me tonight at 11, and our Ethan Kibbe had a one-on-one with Joe Biden. We're going to hear about that, and you can see it online, the full interview right now. Join us back here tonight at 11. Good evening.